By the way, I love you, DA.
We're live.
I love you too, brother.
Welcome to American Whiskey. As always, I'm your favorite host in the whole world, Big Sturge. I think, maybe not. But on the other side of the studio, we've got Justice League.
Hey guys, this is AAW After Hours.
And right behind him, I know everyone said, where was he? Where? I'm drunk. Where was he at earlier? Dougie Fresh.
What up?
And of course, we've got the one guy that can't talk in a microphone, Peanut.
What's up, everybody?
He sounds crisp. He sounds crisp.
He sounded good.
And of course, we're excited as ever. We had a lot of feedback on one of our Bigfoot episodes with D.A. Roberts. He's in studio, but all the way in his, I call it a different country. But we've got D.A. Roberts. Right? What's up, D.A.?
Not much. And you're right. It's Missouri. So technically, I guess it is a foreign country.
It's a foreign country. So sit back, relax, grab a beer, grab a whiskey, grab a wine like my wife and Jen's drinking. Sit back, relax, and let's get started. So, DA, I think it's been a couple weeks now.
Yeah, first off, what are we sipping on?
Let's talk about what we're sipping on. I was sipping on a little bit of, Jen, what was that we were sipping on from Burnout Winery? Teacher. Yeah, it's I'm proud to say it, but we've got a bottle coming out on behalf of us that's going to be like it's going to be like a whiskey barrel Teacher. We're really excited. We're not sure what the name is yet, but it's a great wine. We've been sipping on it. It's really strange. It hit me out of nowhere. So that's what I'm sipping on, plus a Mick Ultra. What are you sipping on? I'm
sipping on a good old Busch Latte. And the accountant that we've almost smashed this whole bottle in the last 20 minutes.
From Burnout Winery? Burnout Winery makes great stuff. Dougie in the back, you just got done bowling. What are you sipping on, my man?
I've got a Busch Light, and then I'm going to close my eyes and grab a jar, and we'll go with peach and red raspberry.
That sounds pretty good.
Disgusting. Anyways, Peanut, what are you sipping on, my boy?
Well, I just finished off the wife's bottle of Burnout Winery.
Who's feedbacking now?
Both of them.
Probably both.
Motherfuckers, mute your shit.
Phones.
They are.
D.A. Roberts, sorry about these guys. It's like the first rodeo. What are you sipping on?
Well, tonight I am cracking open a bottle of Finnegran's Irish whiskey. And it's I've had it before. This is my third bottle of it, but I got some good peaty notes to it, and it got that nice smoky flavor. And those are my favorite whiskeys. Got that little smoky burn to them.
What'd you think of that marshmallow bourbon Justice League gave you?
Dude, that stuff was awesome.
We got another box on your way.
Oh, dude, I can't wait.
DA, did you send these pictures to anybody else?
We talked about them on our show, but they haven't been put up anywhere else. They're going to be going up on my Patreon.
All right, Justice League, take it over.
I'm forwarding them to you.
Oh, to me?
Because holy fuck, what would do that?
Look, you notice. Well, I don't want to give too much away until you start showing them, but notice the broken bones.
Did you send this?
Those aren't cut. Those have not been cut off. Those have been ripped off.
That is straight a clean.
We need to see it. Doug and I need to see it. We don't have it.
Put it on the monitor over here.
Yeah, put it on the monitor. Turn the monitor on, babe, right here.
I sent it to your Facebook.
Facebook?
Now you got me curious, and I can't see anything.
Shit. Sorry, DA. We're totally not organized.
No, I sent it.
Organization. We don't need no stinking organization.
Nah,
dude.
We do what we do.
DA, these pictures give me chills.
Doug, have you
Dude,
seen?
Imagine how I felt when it was just me and my son that found those out in the woods.
Check your Facebook messages.
I'm on my Facebook messages right now, bud.
Doug, come here.
Oh my.
It is a shit show, Daniel Stevens.
I can.
I don't care.
So as you get in last place.
Is that a deer?
What would do this?
Can somebody show me? Can somebody baby, take a picture of it?
Oh dear.
Look at that.
Oh, deer is right.
Man, depending on how hungry I am, I mean.
Is it a thing? Is this a real thing?
Zoom in on the ends of them. Those have not been cut off. You can see the sinew and the broken bone. Those were twisted off.
Yeah.
That's not a poacher.
In pieces too.
And we found that, well, it wasn't exactly out in plain sight. It was back a bit in the woods. So this would not have been an easy dump site. There were no tracks of any vehicles going in or out. and the gut pile was gone too. So if it'd been a poacher, we'd have found a gut pile.
That's a pile of bones.
It's 4 legs, a head, and the neck, and
No.
most of the hide.
Nothing would leave a head and hide like that.
Where did you see this at?
Out in the old Joe Bald campground, the one I was telling you boys about when we talked the other day.
Is that Missouri?
Yeah, it's here in Missouri, down by Table Rock Lake. It was
What-
well off the beaten path.
DA noted, not going there.
No, time out.
First off, we are going there.
Oh yeah,
DA, would you take us?
sure, absolutely.
We're coming then, Dougie.
I'll take you guys there and out to Combs Ferry, where we found the first pictures I sent you guys.
So
Well, the ones I was showing you guys at the show.
I've got, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wanted to keep going, and I'm gonna be vulnerable. So when we were interviewing you, somebody's still on. I can hear it feedbacking.
It's
Driving me
fine.
nuts.
It just
So-
doesn't matter.
It does to me, but it's because of the iPhone, I think.
Yeah.
But so when we were doing the interview, we were doing a great interview, but I ended up having like an anxiety attack during it. And I deal with like a panic, like I don't know, what do you call it, babe? Like anxiety attacks.
Panic
So
attacks.
I ended up ending this perfect interview we were doing together, man. And one of the questions I wanted to ask you guys, I ended up ending that episode quick. I mean, we had a long episode, but I wanted to go more in depth. If you had to like give someone the most reason to believe in Bigfoot, what would it be? Does that make sense? Does that make
The best evidence I could present them.
Yeah, like if someone's like, I don't believe in them at all, what is the best thing you could bring to the table to be like, listen, buddy, like you may not believe, but here's some cold-hearted facts.
Well, years ago when I was a kid, people that claimed they had Bigfoot sightings, the ones they would show on the news, were always the guy with 4 teeth left in his mouth and a single strap open on his bibbed overalls, going, "Yeah, I thought of Sasquatch and he stole my chickens." And
Yeah,
they kind of made it a laughing stock on the news, but it ain't like that anymore. I mean, I've interviewed judges, doctors, surgeons, lawyers, and a ton of cops. Most of them didn't want their names associated with it. Like, look, I'll tell you my story, but you can't give out my name because I got a job to keep.
but I think that's pretty common on anything, because I used to do true crime before I did this podcast, and there was a lot of times I interviewed like detectives or DAs, and they would always say, like, I will tell you what I know, but you cannot use my personal information.
Exactly.
So I think that's a very, very believable thing that you're saying.
Well, speaking of true crime, over the years, over the last the entire length of our judicial system, how many times, and I can tell you from my career, I've seen it happen. How many times has someone been put on death row or given a life sentence on eyewitness testimony? Yet when it comes to Bigfoot or Dogman, eyewitness testimony is chucked out the window. Nobody
Well,
believes
there's a lot of, I mean, I think you got to speak on the fact that a lot of that eyewitness testimony is also being reversed in courts as we speak.
it. True.
A lot of that stuff
But
that was valid.
My point being is eyewitness testimony can be submitted as evidence in a court of law, yet
Yeah.
Bigfoot eyewitnesses are immediately discounted.
Yeah. So, when it comes to Bigfoot, I'm a believer, this. What is something that you've been through that would validate? I'm all about personal experiences. I told you at the Bigfoot Festival, mine, I was driving through with a girlfriend back in, it's been 15 years ago now. I told you what I saw. We both looked at each other and we're like, what the fuck was that? But what is something that you could say, definitively that you saw that would make other people believe that? Because, I wouldn't say we've caught slack since our interview at Bigfoot Festival, but we had a lot of people question. You know what I'm saying, DA?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we've actually Dylan and I both have, and even Dougie, we've had a lot of great conversations. Peanut, you even said, the fact that, it brought different light from different areas of what this podcast could be. And, you hear these things, but DA, what is something that you could say, here's what happened to me, and here is how I can say this is a fact. This isn't a fucking fairy tale. This isn't a fucking story and some made up story, right? You're an author. A lot of you're a great author, might I add. I read your first
Thanks, man.
book. It's
Thanks, man.
incredible. I know. I wanted to actually message you on that first book before I move on to the second one. We'll do that outside of this podcast. But incredible. But you can obviously you can share your experiences in a way that a lot of people can't. So what is it that you've been through that just says, hey man, Bigfoot's a thing?
Well, I know a lot of guys that are either on the fence or just flat out don't believe.
Yeah.
Some of the guys I worked with when I was a deputy sheriff, a couple of my old lieutenants were kind of, they grew up in the Ozarks, but they'd never seen anything. And Steve, the other co-host on our show, Steve Monrodis, he was an absolute on the fence guy. He wasn't sure, convinced one way or the other. So he was always our skeptic whenever we would go out and do something. Back in July, we went into an old abandoned campground here in Missouri on Table Rock Lake called Combs Ferry. Combs Ferry's been shut down for 30 or 40 years, and it's absolutely destroyed. We don't know why they shut it down. Army Corps of Engineers won't say, but they went so far as to bulldoze it off. You can't even get into it by vehicle. They have destroyed all ways of getting in there by car. So there's either hike in or what we did. We went in the middle of the night in a boat and landed. Basically,
you're going in public water. That's not illegal, right?
Right. It's not illegal for us to be in there, but they've made it very, very difficult for people to get in there. So I took a group of 7 guys. Me, Robbie, and my son Noah. We firmly believed. But the rest Wyatt, who also went, was a believer. But the other guys, the other 3 on the team, were skeptics. They were like, I don't know about all this, but we'll go with you. We got into Combs Ferry, and because we had to go in by a bass boat, it was the biggest boat we could get it on short notice. We had to go in small groups. So the first 3 of us that hit the ground was me, Robbie, and my son Noah.
Robbie's
we immediately set up
the festival. Okay.
Yeah, Robbie was with the interview with me when we were live at the Bigfoot conference. So the 3 of us hit the ground, and Noah gets out the parabolic mic, and we have no sooner got boots on the ground and the boat is backing away when we can hear things moving toward us in the trees. We were, like getting little rocks thrown at us and stuff. So the 3 of us were a little nervous, and it took about 15 minutes for the boat to get back with the next group. He had to make 3 trips to bring everybody over. So we kind of just sat there in the dark with our hands on our pistols, waiting to see what was going to happen. Stuff got close, but it just seemed like it was more curious what we were doing there than anything else. And there are no signs of people out here. It's not exactly easy to get to.
Right.
And the campground, like the old Joe Bald campground, it's an abandoned campground, but you could go in with a machete and a lawnmower and clear out some of those old campsites and still camp there.
Yeah.
Combs Ferry's the other end of the spectrum, man. It looks like a bomb went off in it. All of it's all destroyed. There's huge boulders in the middle of the old pathways, trees pushed down. This place is destroyed. So once we get the whole group in there, we kind of looked at the aerial map of the peninsula and made our plan. We went all the way down to the very tip of the peninsula, found some tracks, and we're looking around a little bit. But as we were coming back, that's what we were talking about on the show with you the first time, was when we found that deer leg in the tree and that fish head in the tree.
Yeah.
After we passed that point, they got violent. We started getting stuff thrown at us. We were getting yelled at. They were getting closer to us.
Now,
Steve had hurt his leg.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I do at the same time. You say you're being yelled at. What does that consist of? Like when does that
like
sound
very, very deep, like ape-like growls and screams.
Okay. So like whoops or
no, not more growls than anything else. They were straight up aggressive.
Yeah.
So we looked at the aerial map, me and one of my old lieutenants, and at this point, Steve and both of my old lieutenants, they're no longer skeptics. They're like, something big is out here. Once we saw that deer carcass in the tree, and that's not a mountain lion. I showed you the pictures of that. There was no way that was a mountain lion. Yeah. That deer leg had been twisted and ripped off, and it was fresh. There was no smell to it. There were no flies on it. Yeah. The blood was still red. That hadn't been there very long. And it was twisted around the tree branches so we would see it. But after we passed the point with the fish head and that deer leg, that's when I think we passed a territorial marker because they started getting aggressive. Well, Steve had hurt his knee. And so Estrella and I are looking at the map, and we saw the remnants of the old boat launch in the park. And we were about 100 yards from that. But if we had completed the loop to go back to our original insertion point, it was probably another better part of a mile. I said, Steve's hurt. We got to get him to that boat ramp. So I got on the radio, called Richard on the boat, and I said, can you meet us at the old boat ramp? He said, yeah. I said, don't come in until you see our flashlights. And so we made our way to the old boat ramp, and the lake was really up. I mean, the water was up pretty high. So we got up there. I signaled the boat with the light. Richard comes in. We put Steve and Lieutenant Jenkins, put them on the boat. And he backed out and took off. And that reduced us from 7 to 5.
Yeah.
And we'd already discovered that putting 3 people on the boat at the time, plus Richard, was a bad idea. The boat couldn't really handle it. It couldn't plane out. It was like pushing it way down the water. It was way too much weight in the boat. He brought me, Noah, and Robbie over the first time, and the boat was set so low in the water, we thought we were going to swamp it. So we've got an odd number of people. We're going to have to be playing rock, paper, scissors to see who waits by themselves. But as soon as it got down to 5 of us, we started getting rocks thrown at us.
Yeah.
And it takes about 20 minutes for Richard to get back to pick up the second group. He gets Estrella and Wyatt. They get on the boat and back out. And now it's down to 3 of us, just me, Noah, and Robbie. And they're moving in close to us. I mean, like, they weren't coming out of the woods where we could see them, but we knew they were within 10 yards of us.
So
the woods are so thick.
Let me pause you for a second. So you were encountering some type of interaction from the woods. You couldn't see it, but you were getting rocks out.
You could hear it walking, and it takes hands to throw something.
So
they were way too big to be a person.
And I'm coming at you with questions that maybe somebody would have. So you had somebody hurt their knee. They come in, you're calling for some help. Obviously, they're not going to be able to make a trek through the woods with a bummed knee. So they come in, but they couldn't fit you all in there. Right. So my question, at any point in time, did you think, hey, let's go after these sounds?
We considered it, but because we weren't sure the reaction we were going to get, we only went in with pistols. Yeah. If we'd have been carrying long guns, I'd have pressed it. I would have gone deeper. In fact, we probably would have evacuated Steve, and the rest of us continued on. But with one man hurt and us only being lightly armed, I think we were all carrying 9 millimeters, so we could swap magazines.
Would you say that you were feared for your life at that point?
I was definitely getting nervous. I mean, I knew at this point we were pushing our luck.
So they're backing out those guys. You guys are still there. What happens while you're waiting for them to come back?
So when it's down to the 3 of us, me, Robbie, and Noah, we had our backs to the lake. And like I said, the lake was up high. We were standing with the heels of our boots in the water. We were standing right on the edge of the water with our pistols drawn. And we'd seen upright shadows, walking on 2 legs, ducking between trees. We were getting rocks about the size of golf balls bouncing around us. We were hearing grunts. On the parabolic mic, Noah heard something that sounded like language, but he couldn't identify it. Mm-hmm. He said, I've never heard anything like it. I don't know what it is. But we were starting to get a little worried. I mean, we were surrounded. So I'd look at the guys. I'm like, look, if the boat can only take 2 at a time, I'm staying. I put this harebrained outfit together. I'm staying. And Robbie's arguing with me. He's like, your wife will kill me if I leave you by yourself. Well, boat starts coming back in. And again, we're only needing to take 2 at a time. And when Richard pulls in, I looked at him. I said, hey, what are your chances you able to take all 3 of us back? He said, we'll make it work. We'll just have to go slow. Yeah. So we get all 3 of us on the boat, and he starts backing us off the shore. And as soon as we get about 30 yards off the shore, we light that area up right where we'd been standing with the spotlight. And there were probably 15 to 20 sets of glowing eyes in the trees about 12 feet off the ground, completely surrounding where we'd been.
No.
So, DA, I have a few things here. One, when we come, Are you down to explore the whole thing?
Hell yeah. I'm already planning on going back in and spending the day.
Oh, I'm in.
We were only there about 3 hours. I want to be there for like overnight, like all
I'm in.
night.
I'm in. I'm definitely in. I got chills just
Yeah.
listening.
Peanut, you seen those pictures I sent to Justice?
Yeah. He said share them off. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I was raised I don't know what you would call it, I wouldn't say conservative, I guess conservative, but at the same time, I was always a believer of there's a reason for everything that happens, right?
Mhm.
And you would always think like, there for like, I'm trying to think of a good like. So when I was like 16 years old, my parents went to on a vacation together. My sister and I was a junior in high school. I think she was in 8th grade, and we heard a bunch of noises in the kitchen. We go out there. We're home alone, and the cabinets were open at our house.
Mhm.
And so I shut them on. I'm thinking my sister's fucking around or something. Well, we go back in like an hour later, we hear the same noise. We go back there. Kitchen cabinets are all open. We know it's just us in the house, but you go to tell my parents, and it's like a logical thing, right? Like it's like it's got to be this, or this, and you just think to yourself like, okay, my dad or mom says this, but dude, I'm telling you this day, how the fuck did those cabinets open? So like, sometimes you have to understand that the things that we know just don't make sense.
Right.
So
Right.
I think Dougie, you didn't go to the Bigfoot Festival, so I'm kind of curious what your kind of take is on this. But I do not find the situation you went through hard to believe. I think what you're saying is a firsthand encounter, I guess, would be the you're explaining a situation that happened to you, with your son, right?
It happened to 7 of us.
Yeah, and
Richard on the boat saw it. So,
and I would assume that would be 8 guys, right? I mean,
yeah.
So,
So it's not like I'm just, you talk to Robbie, you talk to my son Noah. We're not just blowing smoke here. This happened to a group of us.
And that's the funny thing. Like, when I tell people about the cabinet situation while I was a kid, it's like it was just me and my sister, so people think we're lying about it, but it wasn't a lie. It actually happened. So, but you have 7 people, 8 people. How do you discredit that?
Right. And I'll straight up say I'm no badass by any means, but I'm the type of person, and I think I told you this, DA, I want someone to make me a believer of Bigfoot. So if we went there and stuff like that was happening, I would want to pursue it and see, and myself, I would want to say, I want to see what this is.
Well, out of that group of the 4 of us, the 7 of us, out of the 7 of us on the ground, 4 of us were either active or retired law enforcement. 3 of us had been in the military, and the rest had been grown up in the woods hunting.
Right.
Yeah. And I think
So this is not a group of people that was unfamiliar with the woods.
So DA, I think the pictures, Dylan, you just showed me, those are a bit creepy.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Last for a week ago tonight.
Really?
Yeah, last week in Joe Bald.
Is that something that you're going to share?
Oh, if you guys want to show them, feel free.
I think that'd be something interesting to show. I mean, I'm a hunter. Like, I do a lot of squirrel hunting. I've done a lot of coon hunting in my time.
That's something you don't
I've never
find.
seen that. I've never seen that.
I'm going to share it with my stepdad that's an avid hunter and see what he has to say about it. Like, I'm not going to give him any context. I'm going to be like, do you know anything that would do this? And just see what he says.
DA, I think what you brought to the table tonight, and it's been a couple weeks since we've talked. What you brought tonight, that blows the picture of the Bigfoot going across, that picture from the 60s or 70s. What was that picture? What's that famous Bigfoot
the Patterson
picture?
Gimlin?
Yeah. What you sent me tonight is more bone chilling.
Well, the Patterson Gimlin footage is always going to be, near and dear to my heart because it's kind of what got me into the whole Bigfoot subject in the first place.
Yeah.
But while that is, I consider direct evidence of it. This is kind of secondary evidence because we didn't find any tracks.
What would
We didn't
make
actually
that,
see the
though?
creature, but this wasn't done by a person.
There's no way. I mean, where's the gut pile?
The amount of strength it would take to snap off those legs and wrench
Yeah.
off the sinew is tremendous. I couldn't do it.
So is this?
Now you said you hunted squirrel. How
Yeah.
do you skin a squirrel? You just make that incision, you pull the hide off, right?
So I right above the tail, I make an incision. I put the tail underneath my boot, and I rip the skin off.
That's what was done to this hide. It
Yeah.
had not been cut and edged off like you would like you'd skin a buck. This hide had been grabbed and yanked off. The head had been snapped off at the collarbone. If you look at the picture of the head, you'll see the bottom part of the vertebrae sticking up from underneath the flap of skin.
I saw that. You know, so another interesting topic you brought up at the Bigfoot Festival. Hey, Dougie.
Yeah.
I don't mean to keep chit chatting because I'm pretty passionate about this. But is there anything so far that you've got to say? I want to add you in.
No, I mean, I guess I've always kind of been in the same boat with like Dylan.
Yeah.
Like, make me a believer.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've seen, I think you touched on it during a couple of the lives at the Bigfoot Festival, some of the documentaries and whatnot that have been watched.
Which brings me to my next point.
Perfect. It'd be a great transition.
Well,
but so I've watched that stuff, and then I've also, you know, listened to people and their encounters and whatnot. So again, this is another encounter that I'm hearing about. So obviously, and it's kind of like, you know, we had talked about it with a previous interviewer that kind of talked about the whole Springfield situation a month or so ago. How many people will be called a liar before there's some truth or there's some believability behind what they're saying? So I feel like what DA is saying, it's been discredited for so long, and you know, they kind of push this guy's out of their mind or this woman's out of their mind when they're given their firsthand encounters.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, how can you discredit all of those claims?
Well, I find it interesting, you know, that you're saying that because we're from Springfield, DA. Everyone's heard of Springfield, right? Now they have. Springfield, Ohio is where they're eating cats and dogs. To kind of bounce off of what he's saying, we had a news network from Charlie Kirk, which is a conservative, I guess what, YouTuber?
Yeah.
I guess, a news network. Come in here, and he kind of asked us, and I think my boys really put a good point to it. He's like, you know, who thinks that, like, if you're hiking in the woods and you see something and you're experiencing a massive Bigfoot sighting and something that's happening currently, who thinks of pulling their phone out, snapping the video during? I mean, a lot of people don't realize you were a cop before, DA. How many people got murdered and they didn't take a video of it?
Dude, I can tell you from firsthand experience, taking eyewitness statements.
Yeah.
You can go to a robbery and interview 5 witnesses, and you're going to get 5 different descriptions.
And it might be a 5-minute robbery, but nobody takes a video.
Right.
So it's like in the midst, you don't think of that, right, Doug? I I think you made that big point during the Charlie Kirk thing. Like,
and that point that was made, it's like who would even think or want to take out their phone during a situation like that? You know, for me, I'm going to do what I can to get either the hell out of the situation that I'm in, or make the best of the situation that I've been put in. So I'm not going to pull out my phone. I mean, what's that going to do for me in the long run?
But here's a good question that Freddie asked. You know, in the comments here, DA, would you chase, you know, the Bigfoot to see if it's real?
Depends on the situation. One thing we talk about on our show is I do not want to be the guy that bags one and brings it in for science, because I think that's a good way to get not only yourself in a lot of trouble with the government, but what if they are intelligent? What if they are a type of humanoid? You know, is that murder? So I've got no desire to be the guy that brings one in. The only way I'm going to shoot one is in self-defense or defending somebody else.
I don't think you have to shoot one to make proof. I think, you know, obviously if you take a photo, people are going to try to discredit it. Right.
With this day of Photoshop and AI, it's very difficult to make anything make any photo a great piece of evidence
You know,
because it's so
fuck 'em,
easy to
DA.
fake it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck them. We're gonna come down there. We're gonna go to the trails that you know. Me, Peanut, Dougie Fresh, Justice League. We want to come down there. Let's sip some bourbon the night before, get a little toasty, talk about some creepy stories, and go out the next day and throw a couple GoPros on us, which we have. And I'm sure you have a lot better equipment than just GoPros. But
I'm still building my equipment. I mean, it's all on my own dime. So
look, all you got to do
I have
is
some equipment.
done, right?
Yeah.
Anymore, yeah.
Let's fucking go out there, man. Because I believe it, DA. I believe what you're saying. Like when you were talking about the past president of the United States and they wrote the book. Do you remember that, DA? What?
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah. So
Teddy Roosevelt, before he was president, he wrote a book called The Wilderness Hunter. The book's still available. You can go on Amazon, order a copy of the book, even as we speak. But in that book, he had a story called the Bauman Incident, and in that story, Bauman and his partner went up into an area of, I believe, Montana, to put out traps. And the locals had told them, "Don't go up there. That's a bad area. There's bad magic up there. Don't go up there." Well, during they ignored him and went up there. So during the event, his partner is killed by a Bigfoot creature. Bauman saw it. He basically left everything behind, left the camp, left the traps, left all their gear, and ran to get out of there. No first name was ever given for Bauman, and nobody ever came forward claiming to be Bauman. Now, if I was in a story written, a story published in a book by a president, I'm sure I would use that to get, free drinks in a bar somewhere.
Right.
You'd be like, "Hey, that story, that was me." But this guy never came forward. So a lot of people, myself included, believe that Teddy Roosevelt actually was Bauman.
And
I think I can add some credibility to that. One, the level of detail, and I'm telling you this from a cop's perspective, the level of detail in the Bauman story could only be from somebody that saw it. I have never gotten that much detail out of an eyewitness ever. They wouldn't tell you the type of lean-to they built, how they placed their traps. They wouldn't give you that level of detail. The level of detail in that story is tremendous, which leads me to believe it was a first-hand story. But Teddy Roosevelt, I believe he went to Harvard. He went to an Ivy League college, and he was on the rowing team, the scull team, and he was the very front guy in the boat. Any guesses as to what that position's called?
Bowman.
It's called the Bauman.
Bauman, not Bowman.
Bauman, same thing.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you can make and it's not a big leap of the imagination, if you can accept that Bauman was Teddy Roosevelt, who just didn't want to share that story because he had political aspirations, which makes a lot of sense. He didn't want to say, "I saw a monster out in Montana," and people think he was crazy when he was running for president. If you can accept that, what was one of the first things that Teddy Roosevelt did when he became president of the United States? Something that no other president has touched.
So he made, was it natural? Like he made lands.
He set aside 88 million acres for the National Park Service.
Natural parks. That's what I was trying to find it. All right.
And that's national parks. That's not counting state parks, wildlife management areas, conservation areas, or anything like that. That is just national parks. If you add all that up, it's more than 100 million acres preserved in pristine condition that we're not allowed to hunt in and try flying a drone over a national park. They'll shoot it down.
I'm down to try.
They will shoot your drone down.
Get
I'll
one,
get
one from Temu.
Bro, I'll get one from Target. I don't give a fuck. I'll get a fucking drone from Target. I don't care. $80. I'll fly it over.
Your drone will get shot down if you fly it over a national park.
Damn it. Let me fly my fucking drone around.
Dude, fly it. I want to see what you get, but they will shoot it down.
Together, man. Let's do it together. Let's have a whiskey night and just fly some fucking $80 drones around.
I mean,
as Doc says, I'm down like 4 flat tires.
If we all have a drone.
How do you ever hear my Dodge? That's weird.
If we all have a drone, chances are we're going to get some footage.
Oh, yeah.
Before we all get shot down.
I mean, hell, we don't got to take the drone and do it over, places where it's getting shot down. We can do it over public areas. I mean, I
want to fly one over Combs Ferry.
Let's fucking do it. Is that by you?
Yeah, that's about 40 miles from where I'm at right now.
Dylan, get a fucking drone.
I'll buy an
I've got one.
Okay.
I just got to get back in there.
When's a good time to get in there? Is winter time good? Like when's a good time?
Best time that I've discovered is when it's cooler weather. They seem to be more active when like late fall to early spring.
That's our favorite time of year, brother. What's a good time to make this shit happen? Let's see what we can do. Like,
we're looking at trying to plan an expedition for January. I'm trying to get Robbie and Doc both here. So I'll get you guys the details and the dates.
Hey, I'm gonna tell it how I feel right now, right off the rip. So DA, if you do that in January, I'm assuming snowfall, and if I'm trying to run from something, I don't want to slip.
I'll throw a snowball.
You don't have to outrun it. You just have to outrun one of us.
Good point.
I'm going to be throwing
so definitely outrunning me. So we good.
Sturge.
You're going to outrun me.
First off, Sturge and I are the biggest trolls.
100%.
I'm going to be throwing snowballs back.
Oh, for sure. I think at the point where we're at, like if something threw a rock at me, I'm throwing that fucking rock back.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Dylan and I are one of the motherfuckers that are dumb as hell that end up getting killed by a Bigfoot because we're stupid
now,
as hell.
The very first thing that popped in my mind when you said you saw 15 sets of eyes,
where we going?
I would 100% yell Red Rover, Red Rover. I call Bigfoot over. Like,
well, they would have played hell getting to us. We were in pretty deep water by that point.
I know, but
that's just me
you don't
being
understand.
A smartass.
He would have first off, he would have never left.
Like,
Dylan would have never left.
You say that you told them you'd be the last one. I bet no, DA, you're leaving. I'm staying here just to see what happens.
I have the distinct feeling that if one of us had stayed behind alone, they wouldn't have been there when the boat got back.
Peanut, if I leave, Peanut leaves. But if I stay, Peanut stays.
I'll be in the boat recording. I'll tell your story.
Hold on.
He's over there flying a drone from a mile and a half away.
I'll tell you.
Hold on. I actually do have a question here, DA. How was service for cell phones there?
We didn't have much service there, and we get terrible service at Joe Ball. These are in areas where we get terrible service. However, I'm wanting to build a booster so we can boost our cell range.
So look, I will.
I think for far too long on the issue of gun violence.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm trying to stop it.
Some people have been pushing a really false choice.
I'm trying. Sorry, it's Kamala Harris line.
Okay, that's a double.
DA,
sorry, that was Kamala Harris.
I'm saying this right now. If you guys have a drone,
we'll get a drone.
I will 100. I know Sturge is going to say fuck no to this, but I 100% volunteer. I'm going to do it. Leave me there alone.
I'll go with you.
No, that's not the point.
No man left behind. I'm going with you.
No, shut up, guys.
You said you say no. No, we're coming.
No, DA already said he feels like if someone was left alone, they wouldn't make it. If there's a drone over my head. If there's a drone over my head, I want to see what happens if I'm there alone.
No, I say I'm staying with you. I don't care.
Yeah,
dude, I can tell you from personal experience going into some of these places by myself, I don't recommend it. I have gotten some very violent responses, and I just don't recommend being in there by yourself.
DA,
I cannot recommend it because you will not be safe.
DA, listen to me, buddy.
Dylan, bring the pew pew.
DA, listen to me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
First off, I want you to know you're in a safe place and I love you. Second, American and Whiskey is going there over in fucking night, buddy.
There are two types of people in this podcast. There are the three of you, and then there is me.
Doug's like, I am staying safe.
I will tell your story to everyone.
Doug's at the hotel, like, text me in the morning if you make it.
So hold on.
Let's do it. Let's do this.
You get service, man.
Hold on. I feel like DA's in for this, what I'm about to say. Apparently, Doug's going to be the one flying the drone just watching us.
Yeah. I got your overhead.
Peanut said he's in. Sturge said he's in. DA, I'm pretty sure you said you want to stay overnight. Even if it's just 4, I'm in.
You in?
Yeah, the whole plan is to put in shortly after. Well, what I want to do is get out there on the boat and then do flyby observations of the entire peninsula during the day, and as the sun starts to set, to drop off at that old boat ramp and do the entire circuit of the peninsula and rendezvous back at the boat ramp. And
Can we drink while we're there?
No, we do not drink while we're in the field.
I'm
Be
in.
like a peace
I'm in.
peace offering.
Well,
Me and Robbie will be more than happy to pour drinks all night out by the fire pit in my backyard. But when we're on the ground, man, we got to be all business.
Let's go a night before. We'll go to DA's house around the fire pit, have a good night, and then go in the next night and see what happens.
Well, Sturge.
If anyone's getting eaten, it's me.
Well, Sturge.
I'm slow. I've got a lot of fat.
I get why he's saying no
I've
drinking.
got good marbling.
No, sir. I'm well marbled,
But hey,
sir.
I get why he's saying no drinking while we're there, because if you have firearms and everything, it's a legal issue.
It's a bad combo.
But if you see me with a flask, it's just filtered water.
well, then you're not having a firearm.
Just bring a life straw.
No, it's water. I said it's water.
I do got one question.
Now we've
Are there
we've got a full safety brief before we ever go in. We've got dedicated medics. We've got trauma kits. Everybody's armed. Everybody knows the rules.
Because if he's got to run, call the medics.
Peanut has something.
Yeah, Peanut's gonna talk.
Yeah.
Oh my God, go ahead, Peanut.
I got one question. They always say that, there's a real potent smell when they're close. Is there any truth to that? Or
I have smelled very pungent odors, and then I've been very close to things that I believe were Bigfoot, but I didn't smell anything. I think it's very much like a musk gland, like gorillas have it. A lot of animals have this musk gland. I think they do it when it's a territorial thing.
My dog, if she needs to take a shit and she won't.
Well, Doug, to be fair, I took a shit down in the basement a couple weeks ago, and you guys.
That was it. Yeah,
that was my gland.
Yeah.
No, I actually have heard
marking your territory.
Yeah, just taking shit at people's houses. No, I've actually heard that. Peanut's a good question. People go. You see a lot of these Bigfoot shows, and it's like ghost hunters. Like, what's believable, what's not, right? So you kind of wonder. Like, you see the people that are taking videos on Bigfoot hunters where they put the sticks up and they're marking kind of like, I would call them forts, but they call them, what do they call them, DA?
Tree formations or they stick formations. There's several names for them. I don't know how much stock I put into any of those because
that's
a lot of it could just be random deadfall. It does happen.
But some of those motherfuckers look like that's not random deadfall. Right?
I've seen some that are pretty intricate. And out in the Mark Twain National Forest here in Missouri, a number of researchers have found trees that have been snapped off, pulled out by the roots, and driven back in the ground.
I mean, that deserves looking into, right? I would think.
Oh, yeah. That's clearly some kind of territorial marker.
I would say, DA, do us an American whiskey extravaganza. Doug, will you come with us? Just not go on the hunt?
Yeah, I've got your back from afar and above.
That's what I mean.
Absolutely.
If we come up with a drone, will you fly the drone?
Absolutely.
So, DA,
I've got the drone. It's on the shelf over by my green screen.
DA, will you do us a favor, man? We want to actually, like, when I tell you this, my wife is right here. You can't see her. Hold on. Do you see her now?
She's hiding.
I know everyone thinks my wife should be fat, but she's really not at all. It's just because I'm fat. But everyone looks at us like, "Is that your sister?" I'm like, "Nah, it's my wife." But she'll tell you, Dylan and I, since we've done this podcast, I've done so many trips, man. We love to do it. We love to do it. So
my wife doesn't want to go.
Well, DA, your wife can stay home. Make a trip for American Whiskey to come out there. Let's make this fucking happen, right, Dylan? I mean, Dylan doesn't say shit no to shit. I'm telling you, like
I will have a hellacious fire and drinks waiting for you to return.
And Peanut will come. I've already learned that Peanut goes where I go, so it's all good.
Base camp will be great, Gordo.
Doug, you went black.
I'll drive.
That's
because
why's it got to be black?
And DA, I'll say this. You'll know this from military. I was stationed in New Orleans. And I was always that dumbass because we had gators and everything in the swamps all around our barracks.
Didn't even serve in the military. Really.
I was always that dumbass when we got drunk and they were like, well, let's go find the gators. I was like, I'm taking my shirt off. I'm jumping in. And they were like, no, you won't do that. And then I'd have freaking my buddy that's 6'4", 250 pounds catch me. Like, no, you're not jumping in that water. You're gonna die. I was like, oh, I was gonna find the gator.
But Dylan, out all seriousness, we would do this
no, that's what I'm saying.
because Dylan doesn't believe it. Da, I do. I think we do this. It's gonna be kind of crazy.
So
He's under like let's go
With
on.
the pictures, with the pictures I sent you, it's hard to doubt that something
No,
did
it-
that.
Dylan for
It
you.
may not be proof positive of Bigfoot, but there's no doubt in my military mind something with hands did that.
and DA, I will say this: I have never come across anything like that. I've never seen pictures like that. But my mindset is, if there's something out there, I want to
Right.
know what it is, and I'm going to go and try to find out what it is.
Right.
That's just me.
What if a mic was always up here and I had to talk like this?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Sorry, Da. I've been drinking, Da. It's my bad.
I mean, you've talked me into
No,
it.
Da said he was gonna get drunk with me, and I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen a
Dude,
sip of that.
I'm
Irish
working on it.
Shot, hey, take the whole shot. Take the whole shot.
The night before.
Don't
Definitely.
force
Here we
feed
go.
it.
Come on, baby. All right, shot time. Shots. I'm in.
Peer pressure.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna take. You know what? If TA takes a shot, doesn't mean I have to.
What's
I'm
up?
not going to.
What's up, Frayed Not?
You just knock it back.
Da is actually my new best friend. Not just because the hat.
I was gonna say,
Excuse me while I top my glass off.
I'm kind of
Go
jealous of that
ahead,
hat.
brother. No,
Hey, we're not going to push you to drink.
can I
here.
be honest, Da? Dylan and I
Sure.
have been. We've been listening to your podcast.
Really?
Yeah. Even
Glad you
he-
like it, man.
No,
What
dude.
do you mean,
It's,
Frayed? We
it's good
always
shit.
can read.
Oh, you can ask my wife. I've been trying to get her to go, Bigfoot hunting for a while. I mean, we got that thing up in northern Ohio. That's a big
Peanut, shut the fuck up.
Okay.
What's in Northern Ohio?
Peanut said, "I don't." He doesn't know. Just let him talk.
No, I'm curious. What's in
Are you
Northern
talking
Ohio?
about Salt Fork?
Yeah.
So we went there. Me and the kids and the wife went a couple years ago. There is literally so many Bigfoot signs. They have a huge Bigfoot festival there.
Mhm.
Peanut, let's go.
Let's do it. Jen won't do it with me.
Yes,
I
she
need
will.
No, she won't. I tried to get her.
Jen and I will be overhead.
Jen, where you at?
with the
Let me
drone.
see her. Where's her face? Come here, baby. Come here.
So,
Come here, baby girl.
I'm trying to think.
Will you do a Bigfoot hunt? at
What's,
Salt Fork?
what's the place everyone
I'm
goes
coming
to
too,
here
babe.
in Ohio
All good.
to say
You wanna go?
cabins and stuff? So is there
She's
any,
in.
so I don't know if DA
She's in. You
familiar with the
just gotta
area,
give her the eye.
or I
It's
don't
all
know if
good.
there's any Bigfoot kind of sightings or anything. I've never once been to Hocking Hills.
Hocking Hills, I think, is a fucking joke, bro. I don't think
Yeah.
there's
Well,
anything
I'm just
there.
saying I've never been there, so I didn't know if there was anything.
There's good drinking areas.
Is there?
Listen,
I think we should try it out.
And with what DA's saying,
All right, I'm in.
with what DA's saying is, if they will single
Talk
you
me into
out
it.
when your numbers are low, there's been plenty of nights I've been out at Hocking Hills by myself at a fire. Or
Yeah, because no, he doesn't have many friends, so he goes like rents a cabin, nobody comes. He does a fire by himself in the woods, and nobody shows up. That's pretty much what he's saying. Anyways,
will you say that one more time?
Who muted him?
oh, you muted me. I got you. Fair enough. Well done. I forgot you could mute me. Jackass.
Gotcha.
You did. You did. Let me pour another. Hey, can I?
Got him.
Hey, Fred. Sorry, Da. Do you mind if I do a quick commercial break?
By all means, buddy, it's your show.
No, it's not anymore, brother. You're part of it. Anyways, guys, right here, Burned Out Winery. They have so many different bottles. Pull up the bottles, folks. Look at them. We got them all over the studio. This right here is t-shirt. It's so good. It tastes so great. I'm probably just going to go ahead and top off the rest on my glass. Boys,
That
what do you-
music playing, I'm waiting for ZZ Top to go. Oh, 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 oh.
all right, boys, what do you think about these bottles?
I like them. I like it a lot.
Customer service is delicious. This is a Moscato.
So fucking good.
Peanut, I think, has the berry sangria, right?
D.A. Roberts said, I don't give a fuck about anything else. Give me some of that marshmallow
Very good.
bourbon.
Hey, Peanut, I bet you won't kill that.
I'll kill it with me. Here we go. You ready?
You're
Cheers.
wrong.
Cheers.
You are wrong. I bet I will.
Slanjama.
D.A. kill it. D.A. kill it.
No, that's a little much to kill all at once.
All right. Anyways, thanks for joining us. See you later. Kill it. Kill. Show us what. If you really believe in Bigfoot, kill that jar.
The jar? I don't have a jar. I've just got a crystal glass.
All right, fine. You want to play that game? I'll fucking kill it.
Oh, he killed it. He killed it.
God, I was just messing.
Nice, DA.
I was just playing. DA, God, he's part
That
of
was about 3 fingers of good Irish.
He's part of the crew now. We might as well pour another one now.
Hey, DA,
Yeah, sometimes two's not good enough. You need three.
what did you say you were drinking again?
Irish whiskey, bro.
No, what
Yeah,
kind?
it's Finnegan's Irish whiskey.
Okay.
Single batch.
Is that a go-to?
My go-to is usually Bushmills Irish, but I have a lot of bourbons I like too.
What's
I
your
love bourbons.
go-to bourbons?
Well, probably
Marshmallow.
this one here. Yeah, well, I don't have any more of the marshmallow. I only had a little bit.
Is that
This is called Truman Reserve. It's bottled here in Missouri.
Ooh.
It's a fantastic bourbon. I put it on par with like Knob Creek or
okay?
or anything like that. This is about the same price range as Knob Creek. It's a damn good sipping bourbon. That's usually my go-to. And if I make bourbon and Coke or something, this is what I use.
So is that what, a $30 bottle, $20 bottle?
About 30, 35.
Yeah.
So
that's not bad.
it's funny you say that because we recently just bought a bottle called Bowman Brothers, and
Fantastic.
it literally lines up with E.H. Taylor.
This is her.
Nice.
And
I
it's
like
a
that.
$30 bottle.
This is our.
I need
Hall-
that for my
bottle I
collection.
bought.
What, E.H.?
I like that.
This is a skeleton bottle.
Should we all bring something over? For
Hey,
Halloween?
DA, are
Oh,
you
we're getting fucked up.
DA?
for sure.
Are you saying you need an EH
We're all
for your
fit.
collection?
Yeah, I love it.
I got you one.
Sweet.
It's a picture of his pecker.
Damn, I don't even have one.
It's not big.
I don't even have one. Weird.
That's odd. Peanuts got it. That's odd. So, DA, sorry. Listen, DA. DA, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm getting a little hammered at the moment. Okay, but I
Well,
just
thanks to you, I got a pretty good buzz going.
we do that well, right, Dylan? We do this well. We get
Peer
people,
pressure, baby.
yeah, we're assholes. But anyways, you said you would get
Stay
us
safe.
on a Bigfoot hunt,
Oh yeah,
American
absolutely.
whiskey. Let us know when in January. Peanut, me, Justice League, and
Yeah, I'm out the first week. My son's birthday, so just don't make it the first week.
don't make it.
I think it'll be closer to the middle or the end of January.
Perfect.
That'd work. That'd
Perfect.
work. But
We're waiting for Doc to get his schedule. Doc teaches first responders battlefield trauma medicine.
Sounds
Oh,
He's a special forces medic.
sounds good. So
So when Doc gets us his schedule, we're going to pick a week.
let's do it, man. Let's do it. DA, I think it would be a good time. And I think we could probably get Dougie to do it. We have to make him feel comfortable.
Oh yeah, we'll load up the.
Listen,
old Chevy
Bigfoots have
and
never
roll.
been known to attack humans.
It's not true.
It's
Well,
DA.
They attacked them.
DA.
I was
God
gonna say,
damn it,
hold on.
DA. Don't
And
make,
that is not true at all.
I'll mute your ass. All right. It's my podcast. I'll mute your
He's
ass.
trying to talk me into it.
There are lots of encounter stories of them
Doug,
attacking and killing
Doug.
people.
Yeah.
Listen to me, Doug. Doug.
What do I
listen
need
to
to
me,
bring
Doug.
with me?
Doug.
They're homeless.
There's
they're-
no.
Which Doug are you talking to? Because Doug's my first name too.
God damn it. DA, shut the fuck up. Doug, listen to me.
They're just big teddy bears.
They're
Yeah.
all they do.
I ain't trying to find out in the wrong way.
They hoot a little.
Stink a
Just
little
scratch
bit.
him on the belly. They'll be your friend.
Exactly. And that came from DA.
Yeah. Usually it's the professional.
Listen, you think that the American whiskey boys are afraid to spend a night in the woods?
I don't think you're afraid, but you may change your mind once you get out there.
Dylan, is that true?
I'm not scared.
I'm not scared.
I'm
Dude,
I'm
I
there.
spent 20 years in law enforcement, and I'm not afraid of man or beast.
I
I've had some
spent-
moments out there where I'm like, we need to get the hell out of here,
I
and we need to
spent
go
7
now.
years CDL driving. You know how many bathrooms I saw that were fucking explosive?
That's
How many bathrooms you've destroyed across this continent?
Well, not just that, but the explosive bathrooms I saw.
Make sure you go to Sheets. They take care of those bad.
No, they do not.
No, those workers.
Sheets
scrub
are the
them.
worst, dude. I'm calling.
Or not Sheets, excuse me, Bucky's.
No,
Bucky's.
Bakey's
yes.
doesn't do it. No, Casey's.
They clean the shit
Casey's.
out of those.
Casey's. Every 30 minutes, they're cleaning the bathrooms.
There ain't no way.
Are you fucking with me?
Not in Huber.
If I saw a Casey's, I may not even had the shit I pulled
Dude, you
over.
could get hepatitis pulling into the parking lot of the Casey's here in town.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
First off,
That's what I'm saying in Huber,
I've
man.
already got that, so I don't care.
Just 'cause-
Second off,
Just because Doug lives in Huber doesn't mean that it's not the gooch of America.
thanks for somebody for backing me up here. First off, I'm not scared of any
I'm
hepatitis.
going into Bucky's.
First off, I'm going to a Casey's. I'm not scared. I don't wipe the seat. They're wiped for me.
Oh, Bucky's is unreal.
You go into
just sit
Bucky's,
there
you
and I
make a
got
mess, and then they
10
walk in right
I'd
behind you.
rather use a fucking Porta-John than a fucking Bucky's.
You're
They
out of
got
your
like
mind.
10-foot ceilings.
I'd rather shit on a Porta-John
I would
seat.
rather dangle my feet off a guardrail.
Yep. Taylor. I know, DA, that doesn't make sense, but there's a guy that we know that shit over a guardrail on the highway.
He's not a very tall guy.
He's not tall. He dangled his feet over like this, and he was like 5'2". It was weird.
You're giving him credit, 5'2".
Guardrail booster seat.
Stuart Wilshine,
much,
are you
yeah.
guys fucking broken?
What do you mean?
What do you mean, Stuart?
Yes.
You're still watching.
Yes, to answer your question.
But yeah, we're broke. We're broken. No, am I broke or broken? Both.
I'm broke
Both.
in.
I'm both.
Both.
I'm broke in.
No, but Flying J's, he's got a good point. Go to a pilot or Flying J. Flying J's are nice.
They have Cinnabons. That's about it.
But that's interesting though, because I
First
caught my
off-
hepatitis there.
Will
See?
Shine.
Yeah, that's
This
what
is
I'm
our
saying. See what I'm
second
saying?
episode.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yep.
What'd you say?
We've only been on here for about 56 minutes.
This isn't shit.
I already feel like I know our next episode.
What's the next one?
Bathroom reviews.
No,
Bathroom reviews. DA's
off-
in it.
first off, Doug, apparently you don't
Speedways
listen
are the
to-
worst.
Apparently you don't watch this podcast or participate because our next
No, I know
episode is
Austin
costume
doesn't.
contest.
I know Austin does it. No,
You know what, Stuart Wilshine? You've really broke my heart. And like, you're asking silly questions.
costume.
How long have we been on here? 56 minutes.
Did you forget, Doug?
No. I
If you
already
don't
know my
like
costume.
it, fuck off. I still love him though.
I've seen some familiar names in the audience. Folks
I
that
know.
I've seen on our channel. Hey Jeff.
Hey, Joe.
Doug,
cheers.
if we show up as the same thing, I'm gonna be pissed.
we won't.
You say that.
Promise.
What
I can't give it away.
What's going on?
what
We-
year is yours from?
24.
Well, it depends
Wait.
on 1992.
What? That's the year you're born?
Ooh, mine's close.
Ooh.
That was the year you're born?
No. I was born well before that.
89,
No.
87,
No.
86.
What? What was that last number?
It was weird.
Combo.
It came out weird.
I was one of those.
86.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready? DA. 52.
I'm 54.
No.
Oh,
You were trying to say he was.
Was
born
you
in
at 54?
Oh my god.
I'm 54. I'll be 55
You're
this coming
54?
year.
You don't
Yep.
look 54, brother.
I feel it.
Well, you don't look it. You look great.
You know what they say? It ain't the years, it's the mileage.
Ooh, I'd like to.
That's what I keep saying about all my vehicles.
You spend 10 years in corrections and then 3.5 years on the riot team and then another 10 years on the road.
Hey, Bob, I change
You're-
dishwashers for a living. Okay.
You're gonna take a beating.
No, I change dishwashers and I also do garbage disposals.
But hey, mine's acting up. Can you come take a look at it?
What's going on? Is it jamming up?
It's leaking.
Oh yeah, just replace it.
I got y'all. I done got anal raped by a grasshopper.
That's odd. That's odd. I think. Well, here's Peanut. He doesn't say shit until he, says he
when
got fucked by that
he
grasshopper.
he brings it to life.
Hey, you know what? The thing I like about Peanut. Well, that's interesting. I don't know what it is.
What a dick.
What a jackass. He's going with me tomorrow. Hey, DA. I loved
Yes,
your
sir.
first book to your series.
Thanks, man.
My question is this. You've got a lot of books in that series. Do they all tag along to that same book?
Every series that I write connects to the others.
Do they?
Yep.
Have you ever
They
heard,
all connect.
have you ever heard of A American?
I think so.
I think you should read it. It's called Going Home. It's a series about like apocalyptic. Oh God!
Apocalyptic.
Shut the fuck
I
up.
got
Let
you.
me.
I got you.
Let me say it. Say it.
Apocalyptic.
Da. What he said. Say it for me, Da.
DA's laughing. Hold on.
Apocalyptic.
That's exactly what I said. You took the words right out of my mouth.
I've got a zombie series that's apocalyptic. It's called the Ragnarok Rising series.
It's right
Not
upstairs,
apocalypse.
Ellie, right now.
It's more apocalypse.
Zombie apocalypse.
Well, it's
But I blend elements of the zombie apocalypse with
Hey
Norse
guys,
mythology.
we're not going to go forward until Sturge can say the word.
it's apocalyptic.
Close enough.
Nope. keep
Listen,
going,
here's
keep
what I
trying.
like about
Keep
apocalyptic.
trying, Sturge.
Oh, I'm going for. I already said it.
Say it again.
I think I ate that last night.
Apocalyptic. So here's what I like about it. I don't think it's zombie like. I think it's like the government takes a shit and then EMP or something happens.
You're
Well,
thinking
there are a lot of things
HGS.
that could cause an apocalypse on a large
And
scale.
EMP.
I mean, look at North Carolina right now. That practically post-apocalyptic, trying
It
to pick
is.
up the pieces from a hurricane.
Well, which is actually kind of interesting, DA. We're actually Peanut and I are headed down to Middleport tomorrow. We're shout out Burnout Winery, and I think Von Davis, right?
Yes.
Von Davis donated to it, but we're headed down to Middleport to do a auction to raise money for the people out in the Carolinas.
Fantastic job.
Shut the fuck up.
What?
Wish I'd have known in advance. I'd have donated some autographed books that you could auction off.
Hey, listen, we can still do that. It would just, you would just have to hop on. I mean, I can put that on the auction if you'd like.
Well, you can do that, and I can just mail them out to whoever wins.
Are you going to do like how many books? What's the series? You know,
Well, I can just pick some books. I mean, how many do you want? How many you want me to donate?
I mean, I read the first book. I'm not going to lie. I haven't read any more. So I really like the first book, but I'm really craving the second book. So,
And DA, I'll hit on that. When we ask for anything like that for auctions, it's whatever you want to donate.
yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
We're
Yeah, I'd definitely like to help.
we're never going to come at you and be like, hey, donate every single one of
Unless
your books.
it's like stupid or whatever. I'm kidding. I'm drunk. It's fine, yeah. No, but listen, I read his first book. I'm telling you, Dylan, you're a book reader. I'm telling you, you would love this book.
I don't even like to read text.
Well, you like to listen to it. What's
Yeah.
that
Well,
called?
the Ragnarok Rising saga, I wrote that while I was still a CEO, and it's about a CEO picking up the pieces.
Ooh.
So, DA, you want
Main character's a CEO.
do you want to do like the first two books of the series?
Sure, I can do
Signed.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good
that.
That's
Which
all-
book did you read?
So well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I read the short story one in the middle of a series, whichever.
Mhm.
What was that called? It was.
Did you do-
hold
was
on.
it Operation Lily or was it
No,
Death
it
in Moon
was-
Valley?
What'd you say?
Death in Moon Valley, because I've got 2 compilations of short stories out.
I don't remember.
What was it about?
Hold on.
Pull it up.
I'm pulling up. Shut the fuck up. I'm drunk as hell.
DA, do you have anything on audiobook?
I do, but there's a place. Have you guys ever heard of Dixie Cryptids?
Hold on.
I have not, because I don't read very many books.
He does. People will write in with their encounter stories, and he'll read them on the air. He's got a pretty good sized channel, about like 200,000 followers. Cam and I kind of have this partnership where he does a lot of my audio books, and we put them on his channel for free, and people can listen to them, and we make the money off the ad revenue.
We support. We don't do free. We support. But
we still make the money off the ad revenue, and we make
but-
more than we do with Amazon.
Okay.
what's the I'm looking, dude. You know how it is on there. Is it The Crossing? Is it The Crossing?
Do you have one called The Crossing?
Was it The Awakening?
Is that a short story?
No, it's a full fledged book.
No, this is
Did you read Last Girl Standing? That one's
maybe that's what
standalone.
it is. Yeah,
It's
maybe
It's a
that's what-
standalone short story.
But what I read about it, when I read the book, I looked up because I was kind of confused. So I looked it up and I read on Amazon that it tied into the first book that you wrote.
Yeah, it ties into the Ragnarok series. So you read Last Girl Standing.
Okay. So is that true? So do you tie them in all in one?
So
Oh, you'll find characters from one series making appearances in others.
that's what I was about to say.
So are they So you say they tie in. So when somebody reads another book, do they notice that?
Well, you can read any of the series by themselves and get the total picture. But there's a timeline on my website that has the best order to read the series in, and if you read them in that order, jumping from series to series,
Is it called? The one I read was like Dark
Dark Frontiers.
Yeah.
Oh, you started with the Declan Kane series. Okay, yeah, that's set right up to the Civil War. Yeah, you probably want to start with that one.
I think it was like
based. Yeah, set in 1865. So right after the Civil War.
That's what your buddy told me to start with.
But all of those series intertwine, and if you read them in order, you're going to get a much bigger picture, kind of like the Tolkien books. But you can read any of those by themselves, but when you read them all back to back, it's a much bigger story.
But that's what I went for. So Dark Frontiers? Dark Frontiers.
The Dark Frontier series are all set in the 1800s, and the other series kind of developed around them.
The first book was Dark Hunt, right?
First Hunt,
sorry. Does that tie into the original books that you wrote?
Absolutely.
Really? Now I'm kind of interested.
Now, I wrote some of the other books first. Dark Frontiers is only just over a year old.
I thought,
but it is explaining a lot of the history.
I think
of where these other books came from.
So your writings are very, very intelligent. Like, so you write. So I don't like to read books like I'm in 5th grade. Does that make sense? I like to read.
I get it.
Yeah, I like to read a book where I feel like I'm reading, like I know what words mean, kind of a thing. I feel like, I don't know, I'm drunk. So like, I don't want to read kid books, but I feel like what you write is for people that are smart, but they can understand what you're saying. And that's where I'm at. I feel like I'm an intelligent guy, but I don't know the fucking Webster. Right. And I feel like what you do is you break down your books to the point where anybody can enjoy them.
And that's what you've got to do.
You're a smart.
You don't want to lose your audience. You want to tell a story and paint the picture so that everybody.
I've also read books where I feel like they're talking to me like I'm a fucking idiot and I don't want to read it. Does that make sense?
I totally get it.
Yeah, so I don't want to read a book like, I'm not going to sit here and fucking explain what a fucking corn crop means. Like, you know, I want to read a book to where I feel like I'm on the same level, and I feel like your books and Doug, I know you like to read, so I don't know if we can share Kindle books. Can we share Kindle books? Like Kindle, like the app. I bought it off the app.
Oh, I don't know.
Dude, you got to read it. Like your books, I
believe Kindle allows you to loan your copy to other people.
We should try it. We should give it a shot, because I don't feel like I don't want to be a fucking dumbass, Dylan. You know, I get drunk and I sound like a dumbass. I'm not saying that what he writes is for people like me, but I didn't think I'd enjoy your books. So I started with the short story, and I was like, this is intriguing. So I Googled what your buddy that was on the podcast, he told me to start with a book, and I thought it was called The First Dark or whatever. First Hunt. And that's the first book that I read. And I was like, dude, this is actually kind of gravitating. So
I think the next one you should read is called Apex Predator Wolf Moon. I think that will drag you into the rest of the universe.
What was it called?
Apex Predator Wolf Moon. It's a blue cover with a werewolf on it. I think if you read that one, that will pretty much open the door to the rest of the DA verse.
Well, I was super confused because when I read the reviews on Amazon, they were saying that it tied in to the different books. But I think the two books that I read didn't make sense to tie in together, if that makes sense.
Well, it depends on what point you pick up in the storyline. Like I said, if you read them in the order that's on my website, the timeline, you get the best representation. Website is daroberts.net.
Guys,
let me
I read some of these books, and they were, I guess, completely separate. But I am is it intellectual? I think is the word I'm looking for. Like, I read a lot of books. I read a lot of books, and his books was great. I mean, I told you that, Dylan.
Yeah, you've always read books.
I liked it. Can you zoom in on that? Put that in there.
DARoberts.net.
And he's a podcaster.
Which we'll say this. We listened to your guys' podcast on the way home from Bigfoot Fest, which was
good.
a little over an hour, and it was awesome, dude.
I'm glad you like it, man. We have a lot of fun doing it.
Like we were trying to find like one of the first episodes, but it was hard to do. Obviously,
the first episodes we were still learning what we were doing, so please don't judge the rest of the show by the first
it was
dozen episodes or so.
No, we didn't get to the first episode. We just found one that sounded interesting, and it drew us in.
Dylan, so I'm pretty fucking drunk, but that's my point. So we were listening to your guys' episode, and I took notes to what your buddy said that was on the podcast. I went back, read the short story, went back to Dylan. I was like, dude, this guy's a fucking good writer. And that's what I was trying to say. Like, you're a gravitating writer. The way you write is really good for a lot of different types of people. You may not even be into what it is you're writing about, but there's no way that you couldn't gravitate towards it because your writing is that good, in my opinion.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that.
I'm a drunk guy right now, but that's what I was trying to get at.
Hey, in vino veritas.
I don't know what that means, bro, but I'm into it.
Means in wine there is truth. There's two things in life that will tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. Drunks and small children.
You said, which book is that? And I'm like, I don't know. I read two. I don't know what the fuck they're called. You know?
Sorry, Big Sturge. I got notes if you forget tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Peanut's not named Peanut. His name is Notes.
No, it's Grasshopper.
What'd you say?
It's Grasshopper.
I like Grasshopper. I like grasshoppers.
I've
I catch a lot of catfish
time.
off of ground. Is there any catfish around where you're at?
Yeah, there's plenty. It was great fishing here in Missouri.
So we'll go.
We've got a lot of great hunting and fishing, a lot of outdoor activities here. The world headquarters of Bass Pro is here in Springfield.
Ooh,
Springfield.
I told you
Springfield,
that.
Missouri.
He's in Springfield, Missouri. We're in Springfield, Ohio.
But we're in the one where they eat cats and dogs.
Yeah.
You're not, bud. Jackass. You're not in the real one. We are. Right, Dougie?
That's right.
Tell them, Doug.
We're in the real field.
They don't barbecue kitty cats where he's from.
He's just not in the war zone.
Or geese.
Who's
or
Jeff
ducks.
Yagergan? Yargington.
Jeff Yarrington. He's in the audience in our chat. I chat a lot. He also has his own podcast.
I like Jeff. That's a cool dude. He said, "In wine, there's truth."
Yeah, that's in vino veritas. That's what it means.
That's true. I mean, I don't want to disagree with it.
I'm trying to spell that out, but it's not going to be very good.
You talking about Jeff Yarrington? It's It's A. Or wait,
And
Y-A.
You're
Yay.
it's YARRINGTON. Doug, are you texting your wife?
Yep.
Is she pissed?
Yep.
Little frustrated.
I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and look at my notes, and I'm like, what the hell does this even mean?
He said it's well, and I'm drunk too.
Thank fucking God.
Jeff, what are you drinking?
God, Dylan's here. What are you drinking, Jeff? Jeffy, what are you drinking? I'm trying to go to a strip club. Anybody in?
No, I'm going to be going home soon.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
There's no strip clubs in Springfield.
Well,
Unless you want to see. What did you say? You in?
There's diamonds.
That's not
that's
a thing anymore.
Centerville.
It's gone.
Oh,
Diamonds?
It's not. No, it's not a thing anymore.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Google it and go there, and I'll tell you when you're wrong. DA and I tried to go there the other night. Didn't work.
I'm pretty stoked about going on this Bigfoot adventure.
From one-
Here's
from
the
one
thing: is
Springfield to the next.
DA actually gonna to schedule the Bigfoot hunt?
Dude, absolutely.
DA.
yeah.
I'm going whether you guys come or not. So
DA. He did. Didn't he? You like? Can I bring my gun?
Hey, Sturge,
well,
Diamond,
dude, we're not going unarmed.
Okay, perfect.
Diamond's Cabaret is having a costume contest tonight.
Okay, go ahead and go there. It's not a strip club.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Is that like a? Would that be like a?
It's
trunk or
not a
treat?
thing. You're gonna be real disappointed. It's like a Kamala Harris strip club. It's not a real thing.
They're having a trunk or treat, man.
Look, I think for far too long on the issue of gun violence, some people have been pushing a really false choice to suggest you're either in favor of the Second Amendment
one
or you
wants to
want to
hear
take
this,
everyone's
bitch.
guns
Yeah,
away.
they do.
I'm in favor of the Second Amendment.
DA
And
loves
I'm in
Kamala.
favor of assault weapons bans, universal
Yeah,
gun
chlamydia.
red flag laws.
Who doesn't love chlamydia? I mean, Kamala. You're right, DA. DA.
Well, one thing we always on our show we always try to avoid is politics and religion. But anybody that's read any of my books or knows me, it doesn't take much to figure it out.
We know where he stands.
I made that
I
very
know.
clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
Came up with a border security bill, which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500 more border agents on the border to help those folks.
All right, sorry, DA. My board kind of took over for a second, brother.
Ooh, Andy's smoking cigars.
Who is
Jeff.
Jeff? Jeffrey Orrington?
Yeah.
Are you shitting me? I like that guy.
No, I made it up.
Okay, that wouldn't surprise me.
Well, I'm really glad we got to have this second episode with DA. I mean, the first one was like
Yeah,
amazing, and the second one's just even better.
it's a good time,
I actually had chills on this one.
dude. I'm
Well-
telling you what. Can we share the photos you sent or no?
Dude, absolutely. That's why I sent them to you.
Let's do it. So we don't want to keep you all night. Obviously, I'm hammered drunk. So if we keep going, next thing you know, my shirt will be off. So obviously, we don't want to do
How
that.
much you love America.
Motherfucker. Kidding me?
Oh, shit, here we go.
I'm sorry, DA. This is this is what happens after hours.
That's a stupid
It's
ass question.
It's that
my
time
boy.
of night, huh?
Well, who asked that kind of question? That's my question. Like, I love America, brother.
America.
When I go out in the woods and I'm hunting Bigfoot, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to go into my natural skin.
You're gonna take everything off. And
There's
chase
not
it?
going to be a fucking thong on me. I'm going into the woods naturally, of course, and I'm going to show him who's Papa. DA.
You're going to be little spoon.
That's not true. That's a lie.
They're 12 feet.
Yeah,
Shut
they're-
the fuck
they're
up.
Big.
I think I'm ready to go. Anybody else want to take their shirt off? Or is it just me? DA?
Just you.
I think it's just you, buddy.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Buddy Sturge, do it up.
He's not gonna let me do it by myself. CDA, we're in.
In.
We're in for the Bigfoot life. Okay. He's like, I'm backing out.
I'm sorry. I caused this.
He did. You said how much I love America.
That's true.
Tell him that if we ask that, you have to do it, right? You did say that's our thing between us. If you say how much do you love America,
Right.
you have to do what the other person says. So I'm down 80 pounds, brother. I'm not afraid. So DA's scared. I think he went off now.
We have been on here for quite
His
a
face
while.
did get kind of red.
Because you made him.
Part of that's the whiskey.
I was about to say you did get him to chug like a double pour.
Oh, this feels so natural to me. It's weird.
Because it is.
It is. It is.
Playing
Now,
with his
the-
nipples.
My nipples are fine. Thank you. But no, we appreciate everybody hopping on. It's a late night hour episode. We appreciate DA hopping on. He's going to give us a date to come down to his neck of the woods to hunt down some Bigfoot.
As soon as we have a solid date, I'll let you guys know.
Give us a date, man. So as always, I'm Big Sturge.
I'm Justice League.
Dougie Fresh.
I'm the peanut. And we are.
No,
No,
hold on.
and-
DA. You're supposed to say it. I'm DA Roberts.
And I'm D.A. Roberts,
Now
we
Peanut.
are American Whiskey.
American whiskey, baby.
All right, see you, DA.
DA
Guys, have a great night.